Hello and welcome back to another legendary episode of the one and only Speculation Alley. It's your boy A-Bomb here, and of course, as always with me is my brother from another mother, Crypto Dilly. What's going on, my man?
Not a lot, man. Ready to jump into an awesome episode of Speculation. This week, we're going to be talking about the Tomo trait, which was revealed last week by Wagmi-san. And so you can see within this image, you have three different companion trait NFTs that are going to be attached to our PFPs. The PFP that is in question here is the Ninetales PFP, and you can see a white cat, you can see a red cat, and then you can also see a blue cat. And so the speculation really comes down to how are we going to get this actual companion NFT? And the best way to really identify this is looking at how we get them. And the way that you're going to earn the trait is through bells. And the bells are earned by being a tool holder. And so you have three tools within the 10KTF collection. You have a thimble, you have the scissors, and then you have the tape measure. For each of these different tools, whenever they're staked on a bounty, you're going to earn what they call bells. And these bells will be stacked towards earning one of these companion traits. You earn 10 bells for the cute little thimble. You earn 20 bells for the stupidly sharp scissors. And then you earn 40 bells for the long-ass tape measure. So what's the speculation, you ask? Well, how are these going to stack up to actually earn these traits? How are you going to be able to get the red one? How are you going to be able to get the blue one? How are you going to get the white one? So with that being said, A-Bomb, what are your initial thoughts? How are we going to be able to earn these?
Well, obviously right off the bat, it looks like you have to have a tool. As well, it looks like you're going to need to submit the tool out to some bounties in battle.town. So other than that, I think it's going to be a tier-based system. Clearly, we see the different Tomos and whatnot, but obviously the different amounts of bells received based off of what tool is loaded to a bounty. So I'm thinking of the same sort of mechanic that we're seeing with the G tags, with the fusing of them. It takes 8 to get an epic, it takes 4 to get a rare, and then 2 for an uncommon and 1 for a common. So if we're looking at this as saying this is an uncommon trait, as it was stated, so I don't think you put common in there really. And I think looking at it would be, if we're going to submit to about 10 more bounties, and if I have just a thimble, that would accumulate approximately 100 bells, essentially. So if that's the case, I would just use that metric and multiply that then. So if that's for the case for the thimble, then for the scissors, you'd have anywhere from 200 bells approximately, and then for the long-ass tape measure, you would have 400 bells. So I think if we're looking at those tiers, that makes more sense, because I don't understand how they would keep the uncommon trait uncommon if you have somebody that was maybe collecting all these bells, because it says that they will be tradable in the future. If they were to trade all these bells and just drop one bell to 200 wallets, let's say, then that means 200 wallets could essentially get this Tomo trait because they have one bell. Seems very odd for that to happen, and I don't think that would be a very good strategy. So I do think you're going to have to reach a tier, and I think that those are going to be those tiers. Is somewhere around just 10 times the amount of whatever that is, the bells that you're receiving. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, so it's clearly stated and defined that the Tomo trait, the top 1,295 earners of bells will be able to get this trait. The big question in my mind is, obviously, if you're, a whale, you have some tape measures, you're going to obviously be able to accumulate a lot of bells, which means that if you're not going for the blue cat, then you could buy up a bunch of white ones, and that's going to obviously reduce the amount of availability for the higher tiers, or just in general, the number of Tomo traits that are available. So when we're really looking through this, you have to be strategic. What I really like about the mechanic is the fact that it's built out to where you're basically being rewarded for the amount of time that you're staking your tool, if that makes sense. So by actually engaging and participating in Battletown, you're going to, soft stake your tool, earn these bells, and because you're participating, you're going to be able to get this trait in the long run. So if you end up selling your, long ass tape measure or your stupidly sharp, scissors, whatever, throughout this process of accumulating, well, somebody mid-season who picks up your scissors can start earning bells, but they're not going to have that same advantage as somebody who has been, relentless about, putting their thimble in the game, right? So I think this is a really cool reward system. I'm interested to see how it shakes out. I also think that, whenever the trading begins, there's going to be a race to the top to get these. And those who may not have tools, they may want to put money into this and actually be able to earn their way up to the top. And so some of those people that have tools, they might be shaken out of the running of the 1295, which will be a little unfortunate. But if you're aware of it now, hopefully you can actually push your way to the top.
Yeah, I think it's like you're saying, an interesting strategy point. But the last thing I'll say about it is, I guess looking at, again, the tools being the thing that earns it, that's the basic mechanic here. And then we obviously don't know what the tiers are. So just keeping an open mind to what that could be. I would assume that they're going to follow, again, the same mechanics that they did with G tags. And I disagree with the thing that you said with somebody minting out more of the uncommon than the rarer tree one, like a blue one, rather than more white ones, because we already saw that with the G tags. That was something that we can take note of in the current metrics of 10KTF is, I think 9 out of 10 people went for the more rare trait and chose to fuse or burn more of the thing they needed to get this single rare item. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen. So
that is another piece of speculation, is obviously, I think that they'll probably go for the blue cat first, the same way that they went with epics first. And so if you're in the running, you're going to be able to obviously get that trait faster, and then they'll scale it backwards. And if it ends up resulting that they don't have as many, obviously, mint the blue cat, it'll just become more scarce, more rare. And that's going to create more opportunities for the people down the ladder to get those. And so if they do that reverse tiered system like they did with the G tags, things will obviously work out in your favor. Another piece of speculation that was going around, just to hit on this, was the idea of the tools, 1 tool, 2 tools, 3 tools, which after reading the FAQ doesn't make a lot of sense. It's looking like it's going to be bells accumulated, and that's how you actually earn this trait. So super excited for it. I'm a thimble owner, thimble gang. I know you got your thimble. So hopefully we got our Tomo trait in the bag. But yeah, that pretty much sums up this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, definitely give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment below if you're going to go for the Tomo trait. I know I'm going to be going for it. So that is it for this episode. We'll see you guys on our Twitter Spaces, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.